Right away from that now, the countdown to the appointment of a substantive head coach for the Super Eagles continues as several managers have applied for the job. One of the applicants is US-based Nigerian coach Michael Nsien, who is the United States Under-20 manager. Correspondent Jane Francis Unweze had a conversation with him.
After handling 2 friendly games of the Nigeria Super Eagles in an interim capacity, winning 1 against the Black Stars of Ghana and losing the other against the Eagles of Mali, Finidi George divided opinion on his ability to manage the team in the long run. Besides George, former Super Eagles assistant coach Salisu Yusuf, former Under-17 World Cup winning coach Emmanuel Amuneke, and United States men's Under-19 coach Nigerian-born Michael Nsien are among the indigenous coaches vying for the vacant position.
People ask about whether they should have an indigenous coach or a foreign coach. I think right away they try to, if you try to decide the difference between the two, I think the gap maybe they say is the standards, the education, the coaching experiences that the coaches that have had, and that's why I think I'm very competent in that and confident.
The Nigeria Football Federation advertised the Super Eagles coaching job 2 weeks after Portuguese coach Jose Paciro left the position on the expiration of his contract. Nsien, who has served as head coach of the United States Under-16 men's national team, assistant coach of the U.S. men's senior team, and currently the head coach of the Under-19 men's national team, believes he can transform the playing pattern of the Super Eagles.
As a coach, I feel like this is a great opportunity for me, not only for myself, of course, but also for Nigeria to give back and kind of complete that void that I've always felt in Nigerian football. I think I would call myself, I would say I'm flexible, but when you look at the Nigerian team, you have to be an attack-minded coach because of the players that you have at your disposal. To have those type of players, you wouldn't want to have to defend for long periods of time.
Born in the United States, Nsien hails from Akwa Ibom State. He has a USSF Pro license, a UEFA A license, and is currently a UEFA Pro candidate. Jane Francis Nweze, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, David Doherty is a football coach and administrator. He joins the program live from London this Tuesday evening. Glad to have you on the program, David. Views remain divergent over the skin color of the manager that should lead the Super Eagles at this time. Some argue a foreign manager is needed, while others believe that a Nigerian gaffer will make more sense for the team. What are your thoughts, David?
Thank you very much, Promise. I think the question we need to ask Nigerian Football Federation is what exactly are they looking for? What is their plan for the Nigerian Super Eagles? What is the long-term, the short-term plan? And what exactly is their vision for the old national team? Because if you're looking at having a manager that will handle the Super Eagles, we must look at a manager that fits in with our DNA. What exactly is our DNA? How do we play? We're an attacking side football side nation. We're a nation that depends on the wing play, and that's why we're called Super Eagles. So we need to actually look at a manager that can fit into that role, not just having thousands of people coming in, but we're having the kind of philosophy that fits with our football. And then this would then trickle down to the rest of the age grades that we have, the under-15, under-17. We must have the same philosophy rolling in there. So if you're coming in to the Super Eagles, you must be the kind of player that fits with that kind of philosophy.
All right, it's a live situation. David Doherty, can you hear me? Are you still there?
Sophie, and an idea of how the country or the national team play. Go about, sorting out the best manager that fits this role. I can hear you very well. I can hear you.
Fantastic. Well, right on the screen, we'll have a short list of the Nigerian coaches that have, applied for the Super Eagles job. Michael Nsien is one of them. He's the United States Under-20 coach. Salisu Yusuf, he's been with the Super Eagles over time. Finidi George, who was assistant coach to Jose Paciro, and Emmanuel Amuneke, who's only had the chance to coach the Nigerian Under-17 and the Nigerian Under-20 team. He was assistant to Austin Eguavoen when the Super Eagles were to play Ghana in the World Cup qualifier. Now, a number of high-profile Nigerians have applied for the job, and a few of them I just mentioned now. Should these names really give the Nigeria Football Federation a selection headache? Should they want to, hire a Nigerian coach?
They want
Hello, David, can you hear me? Hello, David, can you hear me now? Okay, it's a live situation. Hopefully we can reconnect with David Doherty on the program. I was asking him if these coaches that have applied for the Super Eagles plum job can anyway give the NFF a selection headache. When you spoil for choice, when you have a quality at your disposal, and you are, must choose from these quality hands, then it becomes a problem making a selection. Emmanuel Amunike, yes, won the Under-17 World Cup with the Golden Eaglets some years ago. He was in charge of the Under-20 team, though they failed to qualify for the African Youth Championship at that time, with the likes of Victor Osimhen and other top quality players in the fold. Finidi George won the NPFL with Eyimba and has been assistant to Jose Pesero. Salisu Yusuf, has been in the Super Eagles for many years until recently when he was eased out. And Michael Nsien, relatively unknown, but right now, really getting the attention of the Nigerian media. He's the current Under-20 coach out there in the United States. Well, David Doherty is back on the program. David, I just spoke about the Nigerian gaffers that have applied for the Super Eagles job. Looking at their names and their pedigrees, are these coaches that should give the NFF any selection headache?
I think what we need to ask ourselves is, where are these coaches currently, working? Where was their last job? If you mention Salisu Yusuf, I don't think I've seen him working in any space as we speak. If you mentioned Emmanuel Amunike, I haven't seen him work anywhere of recent that you can say, okay, well, where are they actively working? No, that is not in that space. If you look at what do you call it? Finidi seems to be the one that is maybe working within the elite role as an assistant when it comes to the indigenous managers to the last Super Eagles coach, which is Jose Pesero, and then also being the coach of the Eyimba International, who are currently in the Premier League. When you coming down to Michael Nsien, I've seen loads of interviews on media, bringing in that media part to what he's trying to do with the national team, if given the opportunity. But the question is, as Nsien managed, can he manage the calibers of players that we have in the national team? I don't have issues with his qualification. I don't have issues with that. He's currently the under-19, manager for USA. And then here we're talking about the Super Eagles. I think that is something that is just not, too much, strong when you're looking at the rest of the guys that are indigenous within, the frame of the numbers that we have there. But taking that off, there's nothing that stops us from having to give him a chance, to take on the role if he thinks he has what it takes to take on the Super Eagles.
All right. Well, earlier you talked about, raising questions about the DNA of the Super Eagles, the DNA of Nigerian football. What's your thought about how the Eagles play at the moment? Is it a replica of what we've seen previously, like what we saw during the US in 1994, Tunisia in 1994, or even earlier? The Super Eagles at the moment, are they a departure from what we used to know of the Nigerian national team?
Yeah, if you look at the last game, because but you have to look at the team the way they played. Let's just start from the time that Jose Pesero took the team to AFCON. If the likes of Victor
Osimhen, you
Boniface was
mean?
not injured. Victor Boniface was not
Okay.
injured. We would have played a 4-4-2 formation, with Pesero and all that, probably attacking and all that. But at the time that happened, I think the man now resorted to having to look at a formation that he thinks can fit in with the quality that he has in the team. He actually worked with what he thinks he has in the team and decided to go a bit defensive, which is not something synonymous to the Nigerian national team. Nigerians enjoy their team playing attacking football, and that is what we're strong in. That is where we have, the best of our players and all that. So having to play much defensive type and then relying on counter attack is not something that you tend to see with the national team. And I think that is where we have to look at how best we want to, who is best for that job, and then hopefully see how best we can then trickle down the numbers and see who we can bring in to bring that flair that we actually need in the team, not taking away the defensive side of football anyway, which is very, very important.
All right, David Doherty, football coach and administrator, live on the program from London. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with me on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Promise. Thank you so much.
All right.